Let's change course a little bit and talk about another fight that is possibly in jeopardy. And this is for Jermell Charlo, who is slated to defend his his unified titles against Tim Tszyu. And he apparently has a broken hand and is postponing the fight. And so apparently this is something that I've never seen before, and I'll let Boston Jerry kind of speak to this. But the WBO actually asked for proof. So he suffered his broken hand in training. So just a little bit about his statement. It says 37 fights in, ain't never had to postpone shit. I'll never back out or down from any man. I'm king of 154. This is Jermell Charlo. This ain't no mental health issue. This ain't no sling you can buy at a pharmacy like Castano did. Wow. So that was a shot at Broner and at Castano. I'm gonna bounce back.
And Ryan Garcia.
And Ryan Garcia. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna bounce back and give my supporters 2 fights this year. Stay tuned. And then he's at this point, he's in his Twitter post shows him with the black I guess that's a cast, but a black rap. And so talk a little bit about Boston, about what the WBO had requested from Charlo.
So according to Boxing Scene, and I'm reading the Boxing Scene headline here, WBO issues medical certification letter to Jermell Charlo requiring explanation of injury and recovery. Now, if listeners who are out there who are inclined to comment, feel free to leave an example of when a sanctioning body has actually asked for proof of an injury, right? Look, maybe it has happened. I'm sure the WBO is not just pulling this out of nowhere. I have never seen it publicized this way, though. I've actually never heard of a sanctioning body asking for proof of an injury. Medical certification letter requiring explanation of injury and recovery. I mean, that's to me, that's essentially the sanctioning body questioning your integrity. To me, that's how I would take it.
So
right?
Wait a minute. So who sanctioned the Tszyu fight?
Well, I mean,
I don't know. I think all the belts are on the line.
So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how that works. But one belt? What sanctioning body was it? The WBO? I think it was the WBA. So it seemed like, if I'm not mistaken, it was the WBO who sanctioned this Tszyu fight 2 weeks after Charlo got unified. So it seems like they've been after Charlo for a while now. Like, look, man, like, who does that? They don't do that shit to Canelo. Canelo had months to choose his next opponent. They was on Charlo ass 2 weeks after he got unification.
This is WBO?
I think it was WBO. They on that bullshit.
Yeah, you could be onto something here, Randy. Let me read this off a little bit.
Go ahead.
Read a little bit more from this. This is from Boxing Scene. Mr. Charlo was hereby ordered to submit within the next 5 days upon issuance of this notice a detailed medical explanation of his injury, findings, recovery prognosis, and his orthopedic specialist's opinion as to when he will be physically and medically cleared to compete and return to active competition. WBO Championship Committee Chairman Luis Batista Salas stated to event promoter TGB Promotions Tom Brown via official letter, a copy of which was obtained by BoxingScene.com. So yeah, look, maybe they do this shit all the time. I just never heard of that shit. And I certainly have never seen Boxing Scene or Bad Left Hook put that shit on the front page. It is a slow week. Look, there ain't a whole lot happening. There would have been nothing to talk about if the Tank Davis shit and the Jermell Charlo shit didn't happen. So maybe this is just because it's a slow week that we're seeing this on Boxing Scene. But I've never heard of this shit. It's a real slap in the face to a guy like Jermell Charlo. He has every right to. I'd blast the WBO too on social media.
I would too. I think it's definitely a shot at his integrity, and this is somebody who does not have a history of ducking anybody
at all,
taking on the challengers. And then I don't know if it was, there was a lot of backlash that he got from Tim Tszyu supporters who thought that he was faking the injury. I'm like, come on, I've seen Tim Tszyu fight. Like, come on, like, this is not somebody that I think he's gonna make not a name off of Tim Tszyu, but he's gonna put up a very decisive fight against him, and something that will help him move up the ranks of the pound for pound. I thought he was going to do a number on Tim Tszyu, and I don't think at all he's going to postpone this payday and postpone this ass whooping. I think that he was going to deliver to Tim Tszyu.
Yeah, look, man, Jermell Charlo got unification on May 14th. And May 31st, WBO orders Jermell Charlo to face Tim Tszyu in mandatory. Where they do that at? 2 weeks. 2 weeks after he got unification. And now they're saying, now you gotta give me proof that you got a broken hand. Now, I mean, they just seem like they out for Charlo for some reason. I don't understand why, because Charlo has never ducked anybody, and he, to me, has arguably went the hardest route to unification.
Well, the sanctioning bodies, they're in this shit for the money, Randy. So it's all about sanctioning bodies want their belts to be in the hands of people who generate lots of money. That way they get they're working off a percentage, they get more money. And not to take the conversation in this direction, but Jermell Charlo is not a guy who draws. I mean, that undisputed fight with Brian Castano, one, was someplace in parts unknown Northern California. Two, he's not from Northern California. Why isn't the undisputed champion fighting in his hometown of Houston? And three, why are you handing out tickets the day of the fight, getting people leaving a soccer game to come into the fight for free? So I don't know if that's the right answer, but I think that factors into it, especially when you're a guy who's, doesn't fight very frequently, right? Jermell Charlo, like a lot of PBC fighters, fight about once every year to 18 months.
I don't see Triple G in that ring a whole bunch.
Nah, you don't. But when Triple G fights, he's fighting for fucking this is a $60 million purse on the line, though, Randy.
Once with Canelo.
But that's a more money than they'll make in that fight than they will off of 10 Charlo fights. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying it's right, because it shouldn't be. They should hold all their fighters. If you go on be on Charlo's ass about, well, when you fight next, you're absolutely right. They need to be on guys like Triple G's ass, because he sat on them belts for years. He held that belt hostage for years. So I agree. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you what it probably is. These guys are in this shit for the cash, and Jermell is not. He don't really make a lot of money for them. Is what I'm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that this what was looking like a very promising January month of boxing has two fights, at least one that is going to be canceled and one that's in jeopardy. Hopefully, we still get the better be versus
postponed, right? Because Charlo Tszyu has not been canceled, right? I think they are specifically saying postponed, right?
Yeah. He still wants to fight in February, so that's when Harrison was like, "Yo, I'll be your heck, baby."
Yeah, he's volunteered. So it says in the meantime, Tszyu.
They ain't gonna fight no damn Tony Harrison.
Well, it says in the meantime, Tszyu will stay U.S. training, and a stay busy opponent is being sought. The Charlo Tszyu fight will have to wait until they say either June or July, but that it will happen. Charlo, who will have to wear his cast for a couple of months before he can begin rehab, has made it clear He is not looking to duck anyone. I think Harrison is just a terrible matchup for Zoo, so I definitely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He ain't gonna fight Fundora either.
No, I don't. I think Fundora that even Fundora is a little bit too risky. I mean, look, Tim Tszyu has worked himself in position to be the mandatory within the WBO, right?
And
here's the thing. Well, so interestingly enough, so Fundora is the super champ, right? Has the regular version of the WBC. Jermell is a super champ. So he is not ranked in any other sanctioning body. So I don't even know that Fundora would be eligible. I mean, it would technically be a title fight. So that fight probably can't happen. The name that I heard brought up today, interestingly, was Danny Garcia.
I think Danny will get him.
I don't know. Tim's a big boy.
Yeah.
And Danny's a guy that has started off his career at 140 pounds.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. He want to get in there with Tim Tszyu. Tim's a big boy.
Power moved up with him.
Nah, I don't think that's
I don't know. I mean, he couldn't. I don't think he even hurt Jose Benavidez Jr., who was the other man that I heard brought up today. And I think the most likely replacement for Jermell Charlo is probably going to be Jose Benavidez Jr. He checks all the right boxes that promoters want to see, right? Mexican, talks a lot of shit, hasn't knocked anybody out in I don't know how long, so he doesn't pose much of a danger to Tim Tszyu. Because Tim, from what I understand, wants to fight in the U.S. for his next few fights to build his cachet. He's not going to go back to Australia and fight anybody. And he's going to need somebody who is going to generate some interest. And you put this fight, somewhere in Texas or Southern California, and Jose Benavidez is gonna draw a lot of people to that fight. I don't know that Tony Harrison moves the needle enough with casuals to get folks to come out and buy tickets to go see the fight. Danny. I don't know. The Danny Garcia fight would be an interesting fight. I would definitely check that out.
I mean, Danny has underrated boxing skills, and I couldn't see him really putting a dent into Tszyu, but I could see him outboxing him. He's somebody who has a long amateur pedigree, and I don't think that's kind of beyond the pale for that to happen. But I think handlers are aware of his shortcomings, and hopefully they will make the right decision and his next opponent in that it won't, because he could lose his opportunity at an
undisputed fight.
Yeah, at an undisputed title. But I do applaud him for going ahead and staying busy. He's already pretty much finished with his camp. And as you say, he's trying to build up his profile in the U.S., which is one of the things that they say is like, that's how you truly become a global star, is that you can have all of your domestic achievements, but until you come here, fight in Vegas, fight in MSG in those areas, you really don't become a global star. All right, so we want to thank y'all for rocking with us in this year 2022. We've been doing this for a little bit now, but we hope that y'all will rock with us even further in 2023. Make sure that you do like and subscribe. We're going to come up with some fresh new content up for this new year. We got some ideas for some new and exciting segments, and we love the feedback that you give for all the comments. We read the comments, trust and believe that, and keep those comments coming in, and they actually help us put together a better show. And with that said, we want to sign off for 2022. This is your man Professor Nim signing off for the Casual Rand and Boston Jared.
Happy New Year, everybody! All
Happy
our listeners out there, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, and keep it popping with the pundits of pugilism. Peace out.